Well, let's stay in the United States. You'd think legislation to increase penalties for people soliciting minors for prostitution would be a no-brainer. I mean, no one would agree that behaviour should go on. If someone tries to do that, jail them for the longest time. At the moment in California, if you solicit a minor for prostitution, it's 2 days jail, 1 year maximum, and a $10,000 fine. So the Republicans want to increase the penalties to 4 years jail and a $25,000 fine. And yet, that is being opposed by LGBTQ activists who claim that upping the severity of fines for those who solicit minors for prostitution would disproportionately affect the LGBTQ community. Have a listen to this.
We are particularly concerned that the harsher penalties proposed in this bill will disproportionately impact marginalized communities, especially members of the LGBTQ community, who already suffer from systematic biases within the criminal justice system, particularly when it comes to sexually based offenses. Studies have shown that LGBTQ people, particularly gay and transgendered individuals, are more likely to be charged with sex offenses compared to their heterosexual counterparts. For instance, LGBTQ individuals are 9 times more likely to be charged with sodomy. Measures like SB 1414 lead to higher rates of incarceration, longer sentences, and increased difficulties in finding housing and employment.
Liz, I listened to that and I simply could not believe what I was hearing. I mean, how does anyone make sense of an argument like that?
I'm sure the LGBTIQ community are saying, please stop talking on our behalf. That is the opposite of standing up for them. I mean, they're literally pointing the finger at this community saying, if you are going to punish people for having sex with minors, then you're disproportionately punishing people belonging to the LGBTIQ community. If that doesn't make you just absolutely incredulous, and yet here's the senator who tried to bring this bill. There were amendments passed. Her name is Senator Grove. She was trying to include 16 and 17-year-olds in this bill because, of course, obviously, officially, they too are minors. Well, it was a real bun fight to try and get this across the line, and she wasn't quite successful. Here she is explaining.
Who would have thought in the state of California it would be this hard or this difficult to protect minors, 17 and below, from men that purchase them for sex? Take a look at this. Today in the Public Safety Committee, they allowed us to charge a wobbler instead of a full felony for those that are 15 and below. It can be charged as a felony or a misdemeanor, but it also excluded 16 and 17-year-olds from those provisions. The 16 and 17-year-olds now have to prove 2 crimes. They were bought and sold, trafficked into the industry, and that's the only way you can go after the perpetrator who initiated this whole process by negotiating to buy them for sex in the first place. It shouldn't be that difficult. That's it. People that buy children for sex in the state of California should go to prison.
It is just...
Can't really add to that. It should be that straightforward. The prosecutors in California have already come out saying, well, given those are the preconditions of actually prosecuting or having a chance of prosecuting someone who's soliciting sex from the 16, 17-year-olds, it's going to be almost impossible to prosecute. You've just created too many loops for us to jump through in order to bring a case against any of the people who are committing that crime. It just beggars belief.
It is just
even a controversial bill.
It is just staggering, and just a bit of PR advice to the Californian LGBTQIA+ community, saying that banning people from paying for underage sex is going to disproportionately affect your community does not help your cause. That does not, that's not a good line. That's not a good hill to die on. That's not a good, I would just keep that out of the media release.
And then they started reeling off the stats to prove it.
No, but
it got worse.
It just does my head in when the left does this. You wouldn't believe it, but North America appears to be a hotbed, no pun intended, for these sorts of weird, strange, greying areas.
The safety and well-being of our children are paramount, and it's our responsibility to prepare them for a world that can sometimes harbor dangers. This preparation includes instilling in them the understanding of how to recognize manipulation by predators and abusers, as well as encouraging them to follow paths that align with their true nature and values. Raising children with a strong sense of self-awareness and critical thinking is essential in navigating a world filled with both positive influences and harmful individuals. We must teach them to trust their instincts and recognize the signs of manipulation, whether it comes from peers, adults, or media. This education can begin at an early age and should evolve as they grow, incorporating discussions about boundaries, consent, and the importance of personal safety. Predators often rely on charm, deception, and emotional manipulation to exert control. By equipping our children with the tools to identify red flags, such as inconsistencies in behavior or the use of guilt to influence decisions, we empower them to stand firm against potential harm. Role-playing scenarios can be an effective way to help them practice recognizing and responding to such situations, giving them the confidence to assert themselves when needed. Equally important is guiding our children to understand the significance of living in harmony with nature and their true selves. Many behaviors that go against this natural alignment can lead to unhealthy relationships and choices. By encouraging our youth to foster values such as empathy, respect, and personal integrity, we can help them build resilient identities that are less susceptible to external pressures and negativity. This means celebrating their individuality and supporting them in expressing their thoughts and feelings authentically. As they learn to navigate society, it's crucial to help them discern between genuine connections and those that are toxic or superficial. Teaching them about healthy boundaries and the value of surrounding themselves with supportive, loving individuals will foster their emotional and mental well-being. Encouraging their interests and passions while providing a nurturing environment allows them to thrive and resist the allure of destructive paths. Moreover, it is essential to promote open communication within families. Creating a safe space for children to voice their concerns, thoughts, and experiences fosters trust and strengthens the parent-child bond. This openness not only aids in recognizing signs of manipulation, but also provides children with the assurance that they can seek help and guidance without fear of judgment. As members of the Black community, it's particularly vital to pass down resilience and awareness of both personal and societal challenges. By discussing the historical and present-day struggles faced by our communities, we cultivate a sense of connection to our roots and an understanding of the resilience needed to overcome obstacles. Encouraging our children to embrace their cultural heritage can empower them to navigate a world that sometimes seeks to belittle or undermine their identity. By focusing on these aspects, we not only safeguard our children from harm, but also empower them to create fulfilling lives rooted in authenticity, strength, and integrity. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. One love to you all. Presented by Forgotten Black History. Leave a comment and explain how you feel about the subject.